I'd like to examine something that has likely plagued the soul of every human on this planet at one point or another. It's this idea of self-worth, a perceived deficiency of it, that is. And what I mean to say is that I intend to look through it, not at it, but through it. A cross-sectional curiosity of sorts is in order, because by glimpsing the surface, just like a body, we may have some idea of what it is that thing can be categorized as, but we have no meaningful understanding of the mechanics that allow it to be experienced in the first place. It's my intention, by examining it in this way, to illuminate the how of this unfolding and misfolding of the human process. Though this will be a finite exploration, it will suffice as that agency that allows one to move mountains in their life, so to speak, is perceived through an equally bounded experiencing. I'm going to hesitate here because what I just said harbors the core principle of the becoming, of being worthless. It's this perception of sufficing. There is some ideal, or at least something seemingly better, out there, not here, but there, that we have decided we don't have access to. And in that deciding, one sets the mold of the mind into a small cutout, and it's left there to sit. Now without movement, there is no life. All is not in a state of movement, but a moving of movement. So when that deciding has set that part of one's life, it suffocates it, in a way. It will not die, but it will suffer. And because you are tied to that, you suffer. The infinite potential that you are has been bounded by finite constraints you put around it. So you've essentially locked yourself in your own cage, willingly. And not only willingly, but unjustifiably so, because this whole deciding has only been a speculating that better is out there with someone else in the world. And what an imagination you have, but how are you wielding it? Or, equally relevant, how is it wielding you? Have you allowed that subtle, magnificent imagination of yours to wander its way through your subconscious, being molded by the belief systems in that back office without detection? Because if you are not consciously doing with it, then you are being dominated by it. You would not deliberately choose to let this story play out again and again through your life, would you? Of course you wouldn't, but you are conscious, and you are consciously choosing it. Do you know why? Because it is easy, and you have practiced it for quite some time and likely become quite good at it. Society has fed you a similar story that you have consciously, and now subconsciously, danced to for years, or decades. And so now, it takes an incredible amount of effort to rewrite that. It takes energy. It's difficult. As if that's not enough, there's another layer of complexity to it. Not only are you not inclined to expend a great deal of energy trying to take a detour in your pattern of life experiencing, but you have likely forgotten what that turnoff looks like. What this means is that you have allowed the stories of society and others to live themselves through your life for so long that you have forgotten what your story looks like, what it smells like, tastes like, sounds like, feels like, who is living you. You are stuck in some place where you are conspiring with others to let them drain you of the unique experience of being you. And so now you are left with only one option to break free. You must stop yourself to have a chance to be yourself. But know that this is not a stopping, as you may understand it. What it is an arresting of the idle attention you have loaned to your subconscious mind. And how one does that is to return their awareness to the only possible place where they can reclaim their power. Now, it's with the energy there that one can speed up alongside that attention that's gotten away from them, pull it over and capture it, making it theirs once again. The most salient point about this is that you are the only one that can do it. There is no other being in any of the dimensions, universes, planes, spaces, or whatever else you might call upon that can complete this task. When one stumbles upon this realization and truly allows their attention to tend to it, it dissolves all doubt about their own self-worth. Everything and everyone else becomes a distraction to this return to recognizing just how important you are. Those experiences drew you away from that deep knowing of how unique and complete you are, but you do not need them to return to it. This is not to say that other experiences are not of value. They most certainly are. But that information you realize via your awareness through them is just that, information. This is one of the most fallacious aphorisms there is, that knowledge is power. Knowledge is a form of information, and information is only ever associated with power when it's called upon by one's conscious power of choosing and applied. I cannot tell you how draining the quest for knowledge is just for the sake of knowing it. That particular urge to accumulate information is not separate from a greed for more. Applying it is another matter entirely. But when you want to apply it, you must be the one to do it, not the one with more money, toys, looks, fame, or something other. You, only you. There is no work around. Do you know what working around your process is? Living the life of another. And that's exactly what you're trying to do when you compare yourself to others. Now someone might ask, what if I use it for personal motivation? I would ask them in return, why not keep it personal? Keep it with you. If something about another person's experience is attractive to you, there's something within the packaging of it that your feelings are drawing you to. You don't want their life. You want the feeling that comes with experiencing it for you, through you. And this is how I would use that strategy of sorts. I have found that after years of contemplating such things, there is one surety that can settle the stomach that attempts to digest such investigations. No one really knows the how and why of what's going on. There is always a moving or going, but the mechanics of such experiencing eludes the understanding of those experiencing it. But we are not separate from that. It does little service to organize this unfolding into an observer and the observed other than for a thought exercise, which I do enjoy partaking in for the adventure of it. And with this how is an equally enigmatic why, a reason behind each experience, you might call it. That purposefulness is also veiled from one's limited perception. And although we have no way to fully enunciate the breadth of that purposefulness, I am most certain of one thing, that none of one's experiencing is founded upon the necessity of experiencing the process of another. And this is powerful. Once you let all of you experience all of your experiencing, you liberate incredible amounts of energy. The vulnerability frees you from all the harm that you had always brought to yourself. From there, no time is spent on simply consuming the experiences placed in front of you. Those who fully value their worth allow all of themselves to experience all experiencing, fully feeling and fulfilling it. And that feeling flows through experiencing to bestow a knowing of what experiences are most optimal for their process. Then all choosing becomes based upon a gut reaction, where your body knows the truth before your mind does. After that, getting in your own way becomes a chore again, just like when you were a child. And that is how one uncomplicates and simplifies living. You are not a relative of relativity. You have adopted it and made it your own. And in that making of sorts, you have overwritten your story with a process that's not you, but not all of you. And by definition, you are incomplete, and you feel it. And the seeking of completing yourself, you stumble upon the insufficiency that you are attempting to escape. But if you stay put, let yourself be, worshiping the divinity you are, with your full awareness, that feeling of not sufficing will never find you, and you will never lack, nor feel the urge to attach to your experiences. That's where purpose works through and for you, through all experiencing.